And so it just made sense to vacate and convey this. There's no utilities that will sit there. We'll still attach a full width utility easement to the land, because there is a chance that somebody might need to go through there at some point, but his buildable area will still be back over here. So the reason there's two parcels is actually kind of interesting. One is Wildwood subdivision and one is Eagle Ridge subdivision. And so, or Eagle Ridge addition. And so you have to have two parcels because they're in different additions. So that's why you've got this very, very, very small point on the land on that map.
So this is a no money deal, this is just a gift?
No, I would recommend the council do the normal 19 cents per square foot on this. I'll have to ask how many square foot that actually is, because
it's 0.0 acres.
yeah, parcel 1 is 0.0 acres. So how many square foot? How many decimals out?
It's only 3 feet wide on the east end of parcel 1.
So
The
anyway,
length of
but
it.
both of those would taking those in totality and then saying, it's expected that the contribution be the normal.
And I think most of that is to allow him to put his driveway in there too, off of that cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Or off of that curve.
Because the finished area carries through to, I think, probably right about here. It makes a little bit of a turn, but it doesn't go all the way down. And so he needs to come in off the finished area, because the requirement in the city is that you have the frontage, and that's his frontage to the street, is that finished area. And so that's why the phase 2 has to go through really before any of the houses are added, because they don't meet the minimum frontage requirement if you just drop the road in there. So that's kind of the long story on that.
Move to approve?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Next, kind of the same thing, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-52. A resolution proposing the vacation of a parcel of land in the city of Humboldt, located in the Eagle Ridge addition to the city of Humboldt, Humboldt County, Iowa, and fixing a date of public hearing thereon.
And like I said, this is just the second parcel. One's parcel 1, one's parcel 2.
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote?
Rusher.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Rusher.
Or Shoal.
Or Scholl.
One of us.
Yeah, that's fine. Gerald, do you want to vote twice on that? No.
If you let me
All
vote
right,
twice,
now.
I'll vote 5 times.
Yeah, I vote twice, that's
Yes.
fine. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Aye, yeah.
Well, parcel 3, will that ever, is that?
Parcel 3, sorry, I pulled it down. Parcel 3 is actually owned by the MX. And that's just included
Okay.
in that survey
Okay.
because the
So that-
MX are also selling off land to Ryan Harklaw, so that he's got the appropriate way in and out of his
Okay.
his property there.
Okay.
Because
So
theirs came in like a pie shape also, off of it also. So they're splitting up. It's lot
Nice.
15 in the Ridge that they've taken part of.
Nice neighborhood.
Alrighty, next we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-53. A resolution approving pay estimate number 5 with Blacktop Service Company of Humboldt, Iowa for the roadway system maintenance project in the amount of $34,783.89.
I guess, Nick, being you're here, do you want to kind of give me an update on where that's
Sure.
at?
We had a progress meeting about a week and a half ago with Bob Wagner, Bruce Helliseth. They're looking at, really the end of the timeline here is Labor Day is when Bruce says he will be done with all of his sidewalks. They will have some patching to do right after that in front of all of the curb, of course. All of the change order items on the project are scheduled to be done in July. Through it that we change ordered in previously to tonight, of course. And that's where they're at.
Where are we at roughly with last year's project? Is that, we 80% done, 70, 90?
I would say
or what- where
a
we
week and a half ago, they were approximately 50% done with the sidewalks, and all we had left was the sidewalks. Overall, price-wise on it, if you look at the total scope, we're half, but we won't approach 100% on it due to the amount of leftover for the patching that we did not, that was anticipated on there, and after further investigation through the entire project, was not marked on it. So there's some additional funds that Aaron had discussed previously on that project. So I'd say over on the entire project, they're over half done with it. Mostly sidewalks left with, and then a significant, we got 72,000 and change orders that were approved, this spring, fall, whatever that was, quite a while ago.
Move to approve?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Davis.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-54. A resolution ordering the emergency replacement of a water main on Fifth Avenue South in the city of Humboldt, Iowa, setting a public hearing on the proposed plan, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost, and directing the publication of notice to bidders.
So we've had considerable discussion on the Fifth Avenue South replacement. You can see Nick handed out some sheets here. There's still preliminary stamps on them.
Correct.
But a little bit more final. If you remember, this is the replacement is going to be bid as an alternate with boring and with open trench for the water main replacement, and then the mill and overlay for the final finish on that street.
So, yeah, the overall schedule would be, we're planning to bid on July 28th on it and approve, have the public hearing, approve plans and specs and everything on August 3rd is our schedule for that. Plans will be finalized, these will be finalized up tomorrow to send into the DNR for the construction permit for the water main. These are just, the plans that you have are preliminary. You can browse them. If you guys see anything in there, let me know. But we're planning on, like I said, we should have them finalized up tomorrow and then go from there. You have a couple quick questions. I don't know if it's council or not. The millings, does the city want the millings that'll be taken off of that road?
We normally have in the past, anyway.
I would say
Just
yes.
because we've used them in
Okay.
areas and stuff with gravel.
Okay.
I would say yes.
We'll direct those to the city then and with that. And another one would be on the water service lines, Aaron, poly or copper.
What do you guys want to do with that?
We've talked about, we've talked about, changing the plastic and stuff on other lines and stuff, so I don't think it's on the water.
There's pretty considerable savings by going with
There's some
poly.
savings to it, yes.
Yeah.
And is there any drawbacks? that we
In
should
this
be
area,
concerned
no.
about?
Some drawbacks that you have is if you got hot soil, so you can't use them in like your brownfield site up
Gas
north of
stations
town or
and
anything
stuff,
like
right.
that. But in this area, with what you have there, you don't see any no. We have a very high success rate. You can use the same fittings as copper, actually, just compression fittings, so you can actually go copper to poly with it, and it's easier to work with.
The ability to thaw them out?
Well, you shouldn't be hooking up a welder to a copper line anyway, like you have in the past, so, everything that, yeah, it does, no, you cannot do that with these. If there's anything that's under 6 feet, when we get in on that Fifth Avenue project, it will be insulated through there. If we're gonna bore them and we have something that is right on our way where we wanna be, we will go deeper versus shallower for the service lines to maintain a minimum of 6 foot of cover for the freeze issue on it.
I guess this is as good as time as any. Steve this is the new Steve with People Service. And so
It's
I
another
guess-
Steve.
Yeah, new
Yeah.
Steve.
Last
It makes it
name.
really easy. It's just another Steve.
Yeah.
But he's the new regional manager. I guess, do you have any thoughts on copper versus?
Not really. Everything you said was true. The one thing is locating.
There'll be tracer wire on all of
But,
them.
well, then that solves that.
Yep, all the
There's
service
nothing
lines.
wrong with poly then.
All the service lines will have a tracer wire that hooks up to the curb stop. There'll be an extra piece coiled on the right-of-way side, so if they replace from there, let's say they run a new line to their house, they can pull the tracer wire up to their house, so you know where it goes there. The tracer wire will tie into the tracer wire that is on the main also. That works with you guys?
It does.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second. Roll call vote.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
No welders.
Can we call it John Street there? We can't call it
Yeah,
John Street. Now,
John's-
now it's John Street?
John's project on,
Okay.
yep.
Was the approval then on the poly then to go ahead?
That's what
Okay.
I was wondering.
Okay. I didn't get it clear.
I guess have we done it other places and not had any problems?
I don't know we've done any poly.
I don't
that
think we've
know
done
of.
any service poly.
Strictly
Yeah.
copper.
There's a lot of people who
previously.
take it from the curb stop to the house, but,
City-wise. we
thus
haven't
far,
done it.
thus far, we haven't done anything the other way, but.
But you guys haven't had
No,
any
we've had,
issues?
very good luck with it across the board. Contractors seem to like installing it versus the copper to work with. Get a big spool of it, they pull it in.
And there's a lot of
Talking about
communities.
kinking it,
We-
when you're unrolling it.
There's a
We,
lot of communities.
other communities have gone to strictly poly from everything here on forward and minimum 1 inch across the board. There's no more 3/4 inch service lines or anything like that. Just to help, you don't have to have so many parts on hand to service it in the future if you have ever any issues with it. You get standardized on what you have in stock here. We
What's
prefer
the
it.
connection? How does it connect to
It's
the
a
copper?
compression compression fitting on it. So it'd be no different than hooking copper to copper. It's just poly to copper, poly to whatever.
Would that be a 1 inch line they're gonna run down Fifth then, or what do they run?
No.
That'd be a-
No, down Fifth will be a 6 inch
That's a 6 inch,
PVC
that's what I thought.
main through their minimum 6 inch on all future water mains. You can't go any smaller.
But the services will be
The
1
service,
inch out.
the service from the,
Services
yep,
would
the
be
water
1 inch, okay.
services and the new curb stops will be a 1 inch corp and a 1 inch service line and a 1 inch, curb stop, water stop. And that goes from we'll hook on at the right of way and then go to the main all through the entire project.
So all curb stops will be replaced also?
Correct. Yep. It'll be from the right of way to the main will be new.
It'll be set.
Alrighty. Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-55. A resolution approving pay estimate number 14 from Gottfriedson Smith Construction Company of Ida Grove, Iowa, in the amount of $200,726.34 for the Sumner Avenue Bridge Replacement Project.
Obviously, the bridge is open, but the electrical work has still not been completed. It appears as though there's been a breakdown in communication between Mid-American and the electrician. I met on site with Mid-American, and they said that they were ready to supply power whenever everything was run to them. And the electrician told me that they were ready to get everything finished once Mid-American said that they could have power. So everybody's pointing the finger, but we've proposed some changes to that to make it move a little smoother. They were going to pull power from a pole across 9th Street, or 9th Street, and instead I suggested that they pull power from the light that's on the Gotch statue. That has very few LED lights on it. There's no reason that they should be able to pull from that. The engineer felt the same way. Unfortunately, the electrician came back and said, "Oh, that'll be additional work and that'll cost extra money." Which I said, if you want to, I think if that's what they're going to propose, then we tell them to just go back to the pole. You can go ahead and trench it and deal with the extra 300 feet if you think that that's easier. So we'll see which way they opt to go, but they have been given some clear instructions to get moving. There's no reason that this couldn't have been completed until the bridge was actually closed. There's a little bit of a scheduling issue with the railing and the staining, but there was plenty of time in between that they could have got the electrical work completed. So a little frustrating, but I think both Goberson and WHKS are pressing hard to get the electrician out and finishing up their work. So once that's done, realistically, it's site preparations and cleanup. They had to pick up that railing. They've got to seed. They got to fix an intake that they crumpled. I think that's about it. Staining on the piers and the bridge. And, there's 2 that have been stained because of high water. So once the water goes down, they'll take care of that. That's about it. And then we'll be able to close down.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye. Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-56, a resolution approving the operation and maintenance agreement between the City of Humboldt and People Service Incorporated for the Humboldt Water and Wastewater Treatment Facilities and authorizing the mayor and city administrator to sign the aforementioned agreement.
This will accept the 5-year contract extension with People Service for water and wastewater operations. Details are the same as discussed in previous meetings. It has the CPI adjustments with no additional increase. The extension also provides employees with certainties about their employment so that they can set down roots. I mean, there's been concerns about purchasing homes and signing rental agreements because we've been doing the short-term extensions. So I think it's just fair to the employees to give them this sort of certainty. Along with that, though, they threw a curveball at us and switched Steve out with Steve. So I don't know if you want to go through your spiel and.
Again, I'm Steve Robinette, People Service, Western Iowa Region Manager. I'll keep it short. I'm just using this opportunity to introduce myself. In fact, here are some cards if you will pass those along. As of July 1st, I took over for Steve Guthrie. His area of responsibility has kind of grown and ballooned, so we're fitting Humboldt back into my region, which fits a little bit better than it did for Steve anyway. I hold grade 4 licenses in treatment, distribution, and wastewater. Background's primarily surface water, lime softening plant with activated sludge on the wastewater side. I'm more of a water guy. I'm picking up the wastewater as I go along, but water's really where I come from. Right now, I'm just in the process of reviewing your permits, our operational plans. I'm replacing a great guy in Steve. He had a lot of good things in place, has a good team there, so I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel or anything like that. Maybe tweak some administrative things between us and the guys in the field, but, so I expect the transition to be smooth, and with that, I look forward to our continued partnership and working with you in the future.
You're all the way from Omaha then?
Des Moines.
From Des Moines, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually headed up the Grimes.
Grimes, yep.
The
That
contract.
came from Grimes.
Okay,
So-
Des Moines, okay.
Now, I've been in this position for a year.
Yeah.
Early on, before the upgrades, I had spent some time up here and actually covered your certification for a little while. And with, and on the water treatment assessment and whatnot, not so much the engineering, I left before that, but,
You actually came in on some of the plant design too.
some of that, yeah, some of the
Yeah.
initial meetings with the DNR and things like that.
Yeah, because of the similarities in plants.
Yep.
I know that there was a lot of good feedback,
Yep.
so. Guthrie, actually, they got some contracts down in Missouri, and so he just kept driving further and further across and spending more time driving than he was at any of his contracts, so. Wasn't for any other reason than spread thin, but,
Yep. Exactly.
I think things are going pretty well, and I know that